Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Iliana Magra, and here are the top headlines of the day in Greece. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has issued a warning to energy companies, stressing that if the sharp drop in wholesale electricity prices in August is not reflected in retail prices in September, the government will step in to protect consumers. The Greek premier said that this year, the systematic work of recent years on the country's energy transition and the shift of the domestic energy market toward cleaner and cheaper electricity has begun to show results. Thanks to new renewables, but also to the government's interventions at the European level to correct flaws in the single energy market, wholesale prices dropped sharply this August, he added, noting that compared with last summer, wholesale prices fell by 29%. This drop must also be reflected in retail bills, he said, so it is reasonable to expect that this decline will be passed on to retail prices next month to the benefit of the end consumer. Mr. Mitsotakis stressed that the Greek energy transition must primarily serve the interests of the many so that in the end everyone benefits from it, not just a few at the expense of the majority. Now, authorities today continued the search for a 32-year-old Turkish suspected migrant smuggler who vanished into the sea while being transferred by boat to the eastern Aegean island of Lesbos. The operation is reportedly focused on northeast of Chios, where 2 Coast Guard vessels are patrolling the waters. Police and Coast Guard officers are also combing the shores of nearby Nousses. 4 police officers escorting the prisoner and other detainees were taken yesterday to the main Coast Guard station in Mytilene, which has launched a preliminary investigation. The officers were in custody until this morning when they appeared before a prosecutor and requested more time to prepare their defense. They were released and are expected to testify on Wednesday. Authorities identified the missing man as a Turkish national arrested on July 7th by Lesbos port officials on suspicion of migrant smuggling. He had been held at Athens' Korydallos prison and was being transferred to Mytilene to stand trial. In other news, rescue operations have been carried out south of Crete. According to the Port Authority, last night, a patrol boat located and rescued 51 foreigners aboard a boat about 30 nautical miles southeast of Kalamaki. They were transferred to the port of Kalamaki, while earlier this morning, a Frontex vessel located and rescued 39 migrants about 6 nautical miles south of Gavdos, who were then taken to the port of the island. Now, a 28-year-old man was tragically killed in a car crash in Kozani, northern Greece, over the weekend, becoming the latest victim of the country's failure to seriously address road safety. The tragedy comes as European Union data show that Greece has the 3rd worst record in traffic deaths in the bloc, with 1 fatal road accident happening every 14 hours. In June alone, 74 deadly crashes claimed 64 lives nationwide. What is particularly concerning is that while the EU average for road fatalities dropped by 3% in 2024, Greece saw a 1% increase. The most recent accident occurred on the Kozani-Larissa National Road when the victim's vehicle veered off course and slammed into protective barriers. Emergency crews had to cut through the wreckage to free his body. We extend our sincerest condolences to the victim's family. Finally, Greek consumers will soon be able to report unfair market practices directly from their smartphones under a new government initiative aimed at tackling profiteering. Officials said today that the mobile app will be available this fall. It will allow users to file complaints by uploading photos and videos stamped with the time and location. Inspectors will be able to then use the material to investigate cases and impose penalties. Next year, Greece will also establish an independent authority to coordinate inspections and oversee efforts to curb profiteering. The agency will work with existing regulators to strengthen enforcement and increase accountability. And that's all for today. Tune in again tomorrow for Greece's first English language news bulletin. And ladies and gentlemen, have a good afternoon.